Hi. Well, welcome to our COVID show.
Or at least the news from Lake Wobegon.
Yep. News from Lake Wobegon. I do think, though, that I probably should presume that I won't be doing the morning show tomorrow or Tuesday because I'm going to try to obviously get as much sleep as I possibly can. Which makes some sense. So for those of you guys who are catching up on the news, I caught COVID. And this is day 3 of it. I've, so far, knock on wood, caught a mild case. It seems like it's not very hard, or it hasn't. I mean, it's been like having a cold, but it hasn't been so bad. So anyway, because of that, I may or may not broadcast tomorrow because I probably should try to take it easy, try not to antagonize it, make it worse.
Which is very easy to do.
Yeah. Not going to stop me from doing, these things tonight while I can. And the cough is present. So let's go over here. Anyway. I'll keep those pointing down for right now. It makes it easier for me to move them. These go to the end of the gravity blades.
Oh, and I need to, I really do need, so I have several things from that con that I wrote down that I need to
remember to
have.
Do. Uh-huh.
One of them is business cards.
Oh, yes, you do.
Another one actually is I need to have a quack thing.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too. Like, we need some kind of allegiance thingy, widget, something.
Or not even an allegiance thing. Just
something that talks about what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like allegiance isn't the right word. I'm trying to kind of hedge to it, and I'm not getting the right word.
Like a banner or some sort of thing that talks about, hey, check out Quack every
weeknight and every weekday. this is a really weird sensation and feeling because like nobody wants me to work with them, rightfully so, but I'm still working. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm doing, like when you're in school and you're like, oh, I'm too sick to go to school, and you go home and watch like you play video games, you know, and your dad's like, if you're too sick
Yeah.
to not go to school, it's just a weird dichotomy. I feel like I shouldn't be working because if I'm too sick to not do my class today. But of course, the truth is I really don't want to give everybody COVID. So I really will not go to class today. Next week I have class. Which reminds me, we should be aware that as we come up on June, I'm going to start the working regular hours thing. So I won't be on the day show. So we may want to talk about somebody else taking on the day show or something. Hola.
Okay.
Bien y tú? I think that's the extent of my Spanish. That's good. I think that's all the Spanish I've got. I took Spanish in like 4th grade and 5th grade. I could speak it really well back then. But I can't now. I'm sorry. I speak Japanese. Moshi Nihongo o shaberettara hontou ni shabereru dekoto ga dekimasu. Definitely do it in Japanese if you wanted that, but that's the best I've got. I'm sorry. If you subtitle us and I start speaking in Japanese, does it put the little parentheses and say in Japanese? Or does it just rattle it out like something else? Because I don't know. I've never figured that out. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can speak English. You can speak Spanish. I just won't. I just won't be able to. Like I said, my Spanish is old Spanish. I was very young, very, very young. I don't remember it much. I remember, esta es un plato. Like, it was so important to say, this is one plate. I remember thinking, why is that so important? Right? This is a plate.
A plate has happened.
Like things like that. Este es un lápiz. This is a pencil. These are the things I can say in Spanish, and that's about it. Oh man, it's very funny. Sad, but funny. What's beeping? Is that you beeping?
It's one of our fire alarms or smoke detectors, rather. No, they're 25-year batteries. It just goes crazy every now and then.
That's interesting. So,
there's actually no way to replace it.
Oh, yeah. Because they're 25-year batteries?
Yeah.
How are you doing today? And where are you coming in from? Because it may be tonight for you. We don't know. Hope you stay with me there. All right.
Oh, I hope the car is recognizable.
It is very recognizable. As a car or as a Mustang? Because that nose is very much a 1970 Mach 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Same car that my
Actually, I'm waiting to see if you recognize it from
Gunsmith
something.
Cats?
Yes.
No.
Okay. As long as you recognize it, then I've done my job correctly.
Yes. That's definitely their 70 Mach 1 with a blower and their supercharger. Yeah, that's them.
Except mine is a 4-door.
Right.
Which never got made.
They never made a 4-door. I didn't see that until later. I'm glad you would have thrown me off with that one. I've been like,
is that a 4-door?
There's no 4-door Mustangs. All right. I'm going to go make sure everybody is doing their things and get my pulse oximeter and make sure that's okay too. I'll be all right.
Sorry for being a little quiet tonight as I focus on this. No, sir. I haven't seen you playing with your dolls again. God! Uh, uh, yeah,
How we doing?
not too bad.
Oh, hey. I like that.
What?
It already had coordinates, UV coordinates made. Horribly useful.
Oh, well, that just seems like it just make your life way too easy.
That means I've already been here once. But yeah, just nice. Like you don't have any coordinates on you.
Is that what's going on, small dog? Is you're trying to get my attention?
Small dog requires attention.
Yes. What do you want? Okay. Oh, that is a desperate Pookie right there. Come on, Joey.
We need to desperately go out. I am apparently talking like a robot, too. It's a quiet night for us tonight.
Yeah, it is. Haven't heard anything from our regulars.
Hmm? No, that's actually Can's stylus on his monitor, which oddly.
That still blows me away that you guys can hear that.
It does sound like somebody doing that with sandpaper, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no, I think you've killed Kayan.
Just the visual of that.
You didn't need that visual.
Oh,
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. This one hasn't been modified either. Good heavens. That left me with a lot of work to do. I'm working on a 3D model. One of the things, we both are we're both comic artists. And we both have two totally different techniques. And what I do is a lot of the stuff that I have is 3D models for what I would consider as a solid body, like, for example, a spaceship or a vehicle. First try.
Hi, Patsy.
What I'm trying to do here is I'm doing what's called a UV map. A UV map is where the way a 3D model works is you can, I'm breaking up. There we go. I'm breaking up.
And breaking up is hard to do.
Stay on target. Pull up, Porkins. Pull up.
Go barrel roll.
I'm down in the red over here.
He's going to plaid. God, that is so shocking that you guys can hear.
Oh, it sounds massively loud.
How about now? Can you hear it?
Yeah. It's sensitivity. What you need to do with go to the mic sensitivity and set the sensitivity so it's not an auto adjust.
Okay, how do I do that?
I don't know. Because that's what it is. When you don't talk, it adjusts the volume and raises the gain until now when you have your settings set, do you have noise suppression on? Oh, okay. I found it. I found what it is. Okay, so
what about now?
Did you find it in the settings?
No, I haven't found it in the settings.
Okay, so down there where the gear is, click the gear on restream. Click the gear, go to audio, and then show advanced options. Click that, and then unclick auto gain control.
Okay, how is that?
Better.
What about now?
Nope, we're not hearing anything. Good. Now talk so that we can figure it out.
So now to talk.
There we go. No, I can still hear it. Damn it, how do I... I'm adjusting your volume manually over here. See if I can get it. Yeah, I'm not hearing it anymore, but it's harder to hear you a little bit. I'm glad you were looking over there, Patsy. Thanks. We are...
Okie dokie.
Yeah, actually, that maybe we may have solved this problem. Or not.
I am 12.
I know. No, I can still hear it. Damn it. Because it's the audio gain that's the problem. We'll have to keep working on it.
Yeah.
It is better. It's not as oppressive as it used to be. How are you doing over there, Patsy? Right? What in the world? How are you that important of a thing? Are you inside the thing? No. You were literally very small here, but you're very large here. What's the story? That's so strange. It's like this piece right here. I'm a very important piece of nothing. Oh, I just didn't get selected for this side, that's all. How'd you not get selected? Yeah. Did you love it? Did you love it? Wasn't it the best? It's so funny because Sir Pat said that he didn't want to do that. He really didn't want to do that. And then when he did it, he was like, I'm so glad I did that. That cracked me up. I'm sorry for the cough, guys. It was so beautiful. I've watched that scene like 1,000 times now. It really was. I'm now going around quoting Worf. I just keep going around going, beheadings are on Wednesdays. And the fact that that's a Worf quote just makes my entire year. Oh, the alien sound is back. Another year has passed. Can.
What?
Another year has passed. Now the sound begins out there.
Sound?
The alien.
Oh. A warble.
I really wish I could record it and play it for you guys so you could hear how weird it sounds. So Patsy, it took me forever to figure this out last year, but apparently one of the sprinklers on the park across the street, my house is, the back of the house faces the little park in our subdivision. So this window right here overlooks this adorable park with a little playground, and it's a lot of grass and some trees, and it's very pretty and it's very lovely and it's a great place. And so last year there was this sound, and it was very consistent, and it was like, and it was like that happened over and over at about, I don't know, every minute and a half, 90-second intervals. And I'm like, what is that? That is the weirdest noise ever. And it's like, that is such a strange sound. And it took me probably 3 or 4 of these shows before I realized the sprinklers would spray, and then they'd go across the park and they'd hit the slide. And when they hit the slide, it'd go over the slide. But it's such an alien sounding sound that I was like, the hell is that? So we've started we've gone into another summer of this show, going every night, just kind of doing our thing. Yeah, and it just did it again, and it's like you don't know what it just has. It's like an indescribable sound, but not knowing what it was just sent chills up my spine every time it did it, and like the hair would stand up on the back of my neck because it sounds like some weird creature growling or something. It turns out to, of course, just be the slide, but still, it was pretty fun. I had mysterious ghost thing going on. It was very, very funny last year. I was like, what the heck is that? Oh my god.
Do I need an exorcism? Is this what an exorcism feels like?
Right? We've got Cat.
Hey guys.
Hi, Cat.
Hey, sorry I'm late. I was on my own channel, so.
It's just,
No, you're good.
you are welcome to be here when you need to be here. And hey, you can't catch COVID from me.
You're sick?
Yeah, did you hear? Yeah, I got COVID.
No. Oh no.
I
Dude,
am
I'm sorry.
totally sitting here with COVID.
Oh my goodness. Well, best wishes. How is it treating you so far?
Oh, it's actually been fine.
Okay,
It,
good.
it clearly is a mild case.
You
I mean,
got way much
and
luckier than I did.
I'm vaccinated and boosted, so
I was too.
yeah. I mean, it's more aggravating because I think my kids gave it to me
Oh.
because I'll I will I will not mask up in the classroom if the kids aren't masked. So if there aren't any kids in the classroom to mask up, I won't mask
Mm.
because if I do, then there's that one kid and I can't keep control of the classroom because he's too busy being, calling me an idiot for and having to get into arguments about how masks don't work. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow, really? Kids do that?
oh yeah, because this is driving
Damn.
school, and I'm not one of their driving teachers,
Oh.
and
Mhm.
so yeah, so it's been getting easier for me to just not mask.
Mhm.
So I think I finally caught the stupid thing from my kids, but it's actually fine. I'm doing okay. I'm doing just fine. Pulse ox is still showing 91 to 95%, so we're doing good.
Okay. It's not too bad then.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's I mean it does feel like a pretty lousy cold. I mean, it's not been a walk in the park, but it hasn't been bad.
Yeah. All things considered.
Yeah, all things considered. That's what I was saying earlier to both Kay and my wife who were in here. It feels like it feels even weirder to sit here and work, right? Because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling fine. My nose is runny. I've got a cough, but I'm feeling fine, generally speaking. And so it feels like, well, yeah, but you didn't go to work today because COVID, right? Because you got COVID, you can't go to work. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like that, like when your dad says, look, if you're healthy enough to play with your computer thingy, you're healthy
Oh
enough to
yeah.
go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of feels like that. That's all right. It's weirder than I'm just sitting here. Like, it's weird that I'm suffering from COVID and I just have a cough.
Man, you didn't get to go to Wicked West then.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, you didn't get to go to the convention this weekend.
Yeah, I didn't go to work to teach class. I had class this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It
And I didn't
wasn't Wicked West this weekend.
Yeah, I
yeah, and then
realized I had the wrong con.
I didn't get to go to the free comic book day either,
Yeah.
which was that was the bummer because it looks like they really did good. Everybody did good.
Yeah, there was some really cool stuff. The stuff that I wanted though, they didn't have. This one didn't have. And it was that shop that didn't treat me very well, so I like didn't like want to go. Hi Patsy. Like I didn't really like want to go to this particular place. But um so but the stuff I went for they didn't have. I only wanted like two things and they didn't have them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they didn't order it, but I've also heard there were a lot of distribution issues this year.
Right. To address you, Patsy, don't worry. If I have shortness of breath of any sort, I'm going in.
Mm-hmm. I didn't go in for the first day or so just because I had such a blinding migraine that I couldn't even like I couldn't even sit up. Hi cat or hi cat. Wow. But I'm repeating what my viewers say in my streams.
Right.
um I had such a like for me it was different. Like I kind of just felt kind of meh like the first day or two. Um why me so?
I feel like there's either it takes a turn, but I mean, I was feeling worse yesterday. This is day 3,
Mm-hmm.
because it actually started on Friday,
Mm.
and this is
So it's
day
Friday
3.
your day. Okay, so you're on day 3. Okay.
Yeah, so we're on the end of day 3. I feel
Mm-hmm.
I feel fine except for the
Mm-hmm.
obviously phlegm and crap in my throat and stuff that's making me sound kind of sexy.
Yeah.
But sure. It's like I really don't have a whole lot
Yeah.
going on here, you know. So
Did you experience any uh like tingling or any like electrical feeling in your body at all? Because that
nope.
was the big thing for me. Like you know when your feet fall, or you're like your arm or your feet fall asleep, and like when it starts waking up, like that electrical feeling that you feel.
Uh-huh.
I felt like that for 3 days.
Damn.
Any time I moved, anytime my clothing like shifted on my skin, or like I rolled over in bed to try to feel better, it was just like zap 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 for like
Oh
three
man.
days.
If clothing was involved, I would have just ejected all clothing and just said, "That's it. I'm done."
Well, I that honestly, that's what I did, but I
I
had my
wouldn't blame you.
blankets. But yeah, like I had my blanket, like anything that touched my skin. It didn't
Yeah.
matter if it was the blankets or whatever. Like I had like it
Fair.
was hot, like like you have a fever, you don't feel good. It's like I had my AC running, and then I got too cold, so then I wanted the blanket, but then I'm like, no, I don't want the blanket, but I want the blanket.
Right.
And
That's
I have
miserable.
a I have like a Chiari one as well. And so like the swelling that happens with your brain when like you get sick or whatever, like that was causing my migraines. Um, and it was the same migraines when I was having the Chiari the very first time when I was in middle school. It was like the same migraines, and that was for like 2 days. And I
Yeah.
thought, okay, this isn't normal. Like the electric skin and like the migraines are normal, so let me go in. Like I mask up, I go in on Saturday, and she's like, "Have you ever had COVID? Like, what other problems do you have?" And I'm like, "I'm worried it might be like a Chiari flare because like you have a Chiari one." She's like, "Well, let's do a basic like COVID test. Like let's do these smaller tests first." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then she comes back 15 minutes later, "You have COVID." And I'm like, "Oh." She's like, "That would explain all of your symptoms."
You're
And
like,
she's like,
"Don't be so cheerful about this."
"Well, she smiled good. Well, she said this is good because like now we don't have to like send you to the hospital for an MRI
That's fair.
for your or a CAT scan." So she's like, "This is probably a good thing." And she's like, "Do you have migraines now?" I'm like, "No, because I can drive." Like,
So
like they were so.
yeah, I just really real quickly want to respond to Patsy. Don't worry,
Go for it.
Patsy. I'm not taking this light. I mean, I feel like the way COVID works is you roll a 20-sided die and you never
Mm,
know what's coming out of that 20-sided die. And I rolled a 20. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
so I
yeah.
mean that's the way I feel. I feel like if I catch COVID again, anything could happen. That's the thing
Mhm,
about COVID that's so sucky. But I do feel like at this moment that yeah, I'm pretty much I got the lucky one. I got the lucky draw, whatever you want to
mhm.
call it. I very much feel that. So I'm not. I know. It, Can has had COVID twice, and one of the times just threw him straight into the hospital. And it's like, so, like, I'm coming out of this going, well, that wasn't so bad. And he's like, shut up, you. So, but yeah, I was a little worried. I'd gotten sniffly on like Friday morning.
Mhm.
Thursday night, I was coughing more than usual. I usually cough because of my blood pressure meds. They cause a
Mhm.
dry cough. So coughing is normal for me, but it was more than usual Thursday night. And
Yeah.
so I decided I might as well mask up just because even if it's a cold, there's no reason to not. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
then I started masking up. And then Friday, I wasn't feeling very good. I was kind of feeling a little down. I'm like, crap, this isn't allergies. This is a full fledged cold. And now I'm mad because I've got to teach on Sunday and then Saturday I was going to go do free comic book day with Can and
Mhm.
Pepper. And actually, I was going to do it with Pepper, and then Can got on the show, and we were talking, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not feeling good. Take my place, man. Because I was like, I really was. I was like, coming down with a cold, and I might as well save all my energy for Sunday. I've got to be
Yeah.
for class. And then about halfway through Saturday, I was like, I don't know. I should probably do a COVID test real quick just to check. And even my wife's like, yeah, you're not looking like you have COVID. looks like just a cold. And I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna take the test just to be safe. And man, 2 stripes, 2 dark stripes. And I was like, whoa, I've never seen COVID tests do that before.
Oh.
Because I've taken
Yeah.
the COVID tests so many times and they've come up
Mhm.
negative, and you end up
Yeah.
with a little pink, little pink stripe for your control, and that's it.
Yeah. It's barely there.
It's
And
barely
then
there. And these
when
were
it's positive, it's positive. It's
yeah,
like
it was
boom.
sure. And then we were like, damn. And so we looked at the test, and the test had expired like last month. So we're like, well, maybe the test expired. So we took another one and brought it out, and the same thing, 2 very dark stripes. And I'm like, well, that means that I've got COVID. So then I had to cancel school, and I had to cancel everybody, and and then I had to go through and talk to everybody I was with and say, hey guys, I was with you guys. I'm sorry. And I didn't catch on to it until later on. And so that was kind of then I had a horrible confrontation with Berto, because Berto's been staying masked this entire time because he's got his whole family is compromised. And he ended up sitting next to me Thursday night. And I didn't mask up until I started suspecting that my cough was bad. So he was like, you put me at risk. And I'm like, I did. I'm so sorry. So from now on, I'm just going to keep wearing a mask around Berto. At least. I mean, if not everywhere else, but,
Yeah.
at least with Berto, there's no reason to put his family at risk. So.
That's probably the better thing to do.
Yeah, it made me feel really guilty because I yelled at people for not masking up and all this stuff, and then I turned around and did the exact same stupid thing, and I felt so dumb. I mean, I really did. I was like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, you yelling at people about this, and here you are doing exactly that. That would be great,
Yeah, I usually remind, especially if I know I'm going to really cold places, like the grocery store, or going out. Like if I'm going out to eat and I know there's probably gonna be a lot of people there, I'll still wear mine. And people just in Tennessee, a very conservative place, people look at me and they're like I get comments all the time. That the pandemic's over. Like the World Health Organization says that it's over. I'm like, yeah, but the first time that I got it, I was down and out for a week. I had migraines so bad, and I had I had such a bad reaction that I almost took myself into the hospital. So it was so bad. I couldn't go to the hospital for 2 days because I couldn't sit up. So
yeah, I mean, it really. That's part of what makes me so mad about it. Is the only reason I don't mask up is because I don't want to fight those kids.
Yeah.
And if you got a kid in the class that's masked up, I can mask up. Because then, I hate to say this, but the kid gets the ire and not me. And then I can say, hey, no picking on the kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's easier to do that fight. But the fact that, the more, and especially when I'm out in more of the rural areas, it's become so political that even the kids fight the teachers over it. And that's just ridiculous.
That's so funny.
And the fact that they fight me makes me mad. And so I've just been not doing it because I've got to teach. I don't want to sit here and lecture about, COVID. That's not my job. I've got to teach you to drive,
Yeah.
sort of thing. So it's, and so, it's stupid and it makes me mad. I have cool masks too. They're all Star Trek.
I just use a plain gray one, something that I can just throw in the washer when I get home.
Yeah. So in the beginning of the pandemic, Mariah was making masks. She got a pattern and she made a whole bunch of masks, and then she made them really cool because they've got Velcro.
Oh.
So what they've got is they've got it's kind of like those glasses that librarians wear, which have the chain on them, so you can take them off and just drop them to your chest. I designed the mask so it's got those, so it's got two things that go around your neck so that you can pop it loose with on the top,
Mm-hmm.
and it just drops to your chest. And then you can just put it back up and then Velcro it back to your head. So it's easy on, easy off. It just comes on and comes off really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always been cool. And I like them. They're Star Trek. So, they are cool. And what I generally just said is, if anybody ever wants me to wear a mask, they can always ask. I said that to Ian during I don't have any problem wearing the masks.
Same, yeah.
Yeah,
there's some businesses here that still like require them, and so like I just keep it with me.
Yep, I've got 2 masks that live in my satchel with me at all times.
Yep.
And I told Berto, I said, just if I forget, remind me, because ADD is a thing still, and I still will forget. And that doesn't mean I don't want to; it just means I forgot.
Yeah, exactly. The same. Yeah, I tell my friends the same thing. Like, if you want me to put one on, just let me know. And like usually they'll put one on and first. And so if I see them putting it on, I go, oh, okay, I'll just put mine on.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
If somebody else puts them on, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, oh, I heard to do them.
Yeah, but it's, I've been lucking out. So far, it's been really mild. It's just been irritating cold.
Yeah.
It hasn't been anything big. I did have a little bit of a headache this morning, but I took sinus medicine.
Oh yeah, that was a lifesaver. Caffeine also was just caffeine pills were a huge lifesaver for me.
Yeah, and as soon as I took the sinus stuff, the headache went away.
The sinus stuff didn't really help me that much, to be honest. It was the caffeine pills that did it for me.
That sounds like more of a migraine problem than
It is, yeah. It was a migraine thing because I normally have like Excedrin that I take for my migraines.
Yeah.
Those always work really well for me, but I didn't have any at the time, and so like I was just trying to find I was really dumb and didn't like make sure that I still had some, and I just moved that about replacing it. So I was like, well, what do I have that could work? And I was able to find some caffeine pills that I still had because I've been cutting the caffeine. I was able to find some that I still had around, and so I'm like, well, let me try this and see if it helps because I know caffeine's in pain medicine, so let's try it. And within I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, I was like, wow, I feel so much better.
Right. And that's the thing is I can't when that was what it was. Why it took me a second to catch on. We're in the season where the allergies will hit.
Yeah.
And for me, that's an instant clog up of my sinuses and my nose, and then it causes the pressure, which causes those headaches.
Yeah, I thought it was that too. I just had a really, really bad ear infection, and I thought it was just the allergies or whatever. And so I go in and I'm like, okay, this feels like something worse. I was afraid that because I know I have 2 chipped teeth in my back. And so I was worried maybe it's a tooth infection, but let me rule a sinus infection out first before I go into the dentist. So I go in and she's like, your nose looks clear, no strep, no COVID, everything looks fine. And she's like, well, let me take a look at your inner sinuses and stuff. And so she's pushing around and she's like, oh, your sinus feels fine. Let me take yours. And she looks in one, it's fine. She looks in the other one. Oh my God, it's so red.
Right.
So I'm like, thanks. Hi, Alfie. But yeah, she's like, yeah, you've got a really nasty inner ear infection. I'm like, again? She's like, what do you mean again? I'm like, I get these all the time. I'm like, I just had one in December. In fact, I had a double ear infection in December. And she's like, how often do you get these? And I'm like, multiple times a year now.
Yeah, that's the old, I hate getting old thing. You're like, the older you get, the more your body's like, yeah, I'm going to do this again. I'm
So
gonna
yeah, I
break
just
again. One more time.
Right.
You're like, really?
He's like, Bonnie, please stop. Miso. Yeah. What? No. Well, come on, you crazy child.
You know how it goes
Hi,
with me?
Miso. What? What?
It's vital that you pay attention to her.
Yeah, that's exactly what she wants. She wants me to pay attention. You want some treats? Is that what you're begging for? Is this what you want? Oh, yep, that's what it was. She moved so fast. Here, let me give you the blue ones instead. Because you have the pink ones too. Wow, she jumped out of my lap so fast.
Right.
There's no reason you should be hungry, so I
Get
fed
right
you.
over there. Can. Oh, Merrick was on here too.
Hi, Merrick. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to take over your chat. I'm sorry. Just feeling really great today. It's been a really good weekend.
Yeah, I think we've lost you somehow, Can.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you at all. Which explains why you're not getting a word in edgewise.
Can't hear you, bud. Yeah, I was wondering why Kenny was being so quiet. I thought, wow, he must be focused.
Nope.
Okay, now?
Now we got
Here
you.
we go.
There you are.
Yeah, you've been muted this whole time.
Yeah. You've been
I
very
don't know
focused.
why I haven't changed any settings, so.
Yeah.
I heard Godsbane's doing really good with that thing you have going
contest?
on.
Yeah, we were at the 9th place with the updates today. And we have about, let's see, my counter ends on the 10th at 3 p.m. Central. So I've got a little more than 48 hours left.
Wow.
It's not growing as fast as I want it to, but at this point, I have to, I'm trying not to think about it. I'm trying not to stress about it. I'm trying to just enjoy what I have. So. Oh wow, I did not place that very well. It's literally right between two vendor socks. Oh, it's really awkward. Oh, it's this. That's what it
is. Now I'm getting all paranoid. Is Can talking? Is Can talking?
And now I'm just focusing.
Yeah, right. I know. Now you're being normal, but it's I'm like, wait. Did he say something else? Are we missing him again?
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
Cotton landslide.
No escape
from reality.
Open your eyes. And
I feel. Doubt seriously I can do any kind of clean today. Clear seams.
I just have to throw some light over it. Never the way I like can't do that, but whatever.
Split? No. Zip? No. What am I looking for?
Let's see, how many views do we have right now? 7.2. That's not enough. It's not enough to overtake the next person. So what do I need? It's hard because I have to check all of them to see, because the person ahead of me is doing really, really well. So the person ahead of me has 10.3K. What about the next person ahead of me? And the thing is, this doesn't count anyone that may have come up behind me to take my place.
Right.
The next highest person has 8.8K. So they would probably be the person to beat. So I'm still short 1.6K.
That's still pretty good, man. Your metrics are beautiful.
No, that's how many I'm short to pass them.
I know.
That's a lot.
You're talking about thousands of people.
Yeah. Yeah, but the problem is once your numbers are locked, they're locked, and because you only get 7 days, and then anyone could pass you and knock you out of the top 10, unless you decide to submit again and try again. And what it'll do is it'll take the number of the one that's performing. If I submit 2 episodes, it'll take the one that's performing the best and use that. So theoretically, I could submit again and keep it going, but I don't have my next chapter done. So I'll have to wait till next month. But I'm also trying to not care that much and be like, Kat, it doesn't matter. It's okay. This isn't life or death. You're fine. But like I said, I didn't even expect to get as high as I am anyway. I'm kind of just enjoy it. Don't ruin it by being mad that you didn't stay in the top 10. At least you got that high in the first place. So, trying to remain grateful. The curious thing, though, about the contest is the person at the very top. It's the same of 4 pages. Each page is posted twice. and they look like sketches, and they have like almost 500,000 views. And
You thinking they just had a whole bunch of friends?
think they bought. We think like a lot of people are thinking they bought it or they like paid people or something because a lot of the comments are just emojis, or they went in manually and like found some way to game the system.
Oh.
Because like a lot of the comments are like there's multiple comments from the same accounts like multiple accounts left multiple comments, and a lot of times it's just emoji spam. Or it's like the
Sounds
same.
like they're using bots.
Yeah, or it's like the same comment from accounts, like the exact same comment from different accounts. So it's very weird. And they're in first place. Like, there's no way in hell that anyone can catch that 400 something thousand view episode. No one's gonna be able to catch that. So first place is kind of lost. So we're all kind of So we're all kind of like
way to report that to the authorities or something.
Yeah, you can report it. And people have been reporting it. But so far Manga Plus hasn't done anything about it. I think they were waiting until the counting was over so they review it. Or they may wait until the whole month is over, and then just disqualify them. Which is probably what they would do.
Yeah, but that messes up your way of dealing with it.
Yeah, it messes it up for everybody else, but oh well. It's also week, so there was Golden Week last week. So there's a possibility that there was just like they were off. Because nobody's gotten stamps yet either, and that's pretty unusual that after the first week nobody has stamps. So, because I don't have any stamps yet. None of the new entries have stamps yet. Unless they got them in the previous month. Like I said, I'm trying not to think about it too much. I'm trying to just enjoy what I have.
Right. That's what I was saying. I was like,
yeah,
still
be
awesome.
grateful. Yeah,
we know yours not ill-gotten gains.
Yeah, and then one of the other competitors had a Reddit post take off, and that really helped them, which is good. They're a really nice person, so I'm happy for them. They're in second place now because their Reddit post took off.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited for them because like their stuff is pretty nice.
It's amazing how much power a Reddit post can do.
Yeah, people really underestimate those kinds of things. Everyone just goes, "Ooh, Reddit bad," and I'm like, "No, Reddit good." Not in this case. And it was really smart what they did. They went to a subreddit and asked for feedback. Like, hey, the stuff is posted. What do you guys think? So people had to read it to give feedback. And I'm like, that is so smart.
Good night, Patsy. We'll see you later.
Bye, Patsy.
Don't you hate it when you trip over a functionality and you're like, oh, wish I'd known that.
Trip over functionality.
Jeez.
Are you now functional?
Yeah. in Blender, when you want to rotate an object, you can hit Shift, and that'll slow the rotation down so that, you know, as you rotate, it rotates slower. So it's like putting it into a lower gear.
Yes, you mean like that, yeah.
So you can get accurately to 180 degrees. Well, I just found that if you hit Control, it just does it by 5-degree increments,
Yep.
which makes it really easy to get to 180 degrees.
And I thought if you hold Shift, it did it by 45-degree increments.
In Clip Studio, it does.
Oh,
Not
that
in
must be what I was
Blender.
thinking of. Okay, that must be what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I'm over here in Blender doing Blender things.
Okay, it doesn't have that. It doesn't have that. What, Miso? You're not coming up into my lap again, because every time you come up into my lap, you jump down like Human Savior. What I will do is put your bed on the table. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, Miso. Let me clear off my desk so I can throw your bed up here. Sit here. Definitely don't want the Bacardi on the bed. Hi, Miso. Come here. Alright, Miso, come here. Come here, child. You were literally just muting at me a second ago.
But
Did
there's
you hear that?
Yeah. She has the most adorable little meow.
Yeah, her little trills. Alright, you ready, Miso? There you go. Now you're in your bed. Meow. Now you can sit up here. Yeah, is that what you wanted? Yeah. Happy now? Probably mildly aggressive. Yeah. So. Good girl. You happy?
That's another thing that's really interesting about COVID in specific is my typical way of making so people don't worry about me is to be somewhat flippant and, you know, hey, you know, I'm fine, you know, sort of thing. But I also, on the same token, I kind of don't want to do that with COVID, right? Because you don't want to downplay it for people who've had a really rough time with it. I'm like, now I'm missing, how am I supposed to do this? You know, sort of thing. Welcome back, Alfie.
I mean, I feel like people wouldn't think of, like, I definitely wouldn't be thinking of it as you being respectful. It's just, this was my experience. Like, that simple.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, case in point here, you know, at least, you know, Can's playing with me, but, you know, he had a rough time with it, and I'm just having a mild cold, and I feel like I shouldn't. I'm just trying to make people go, hey, don't worry about me. It's okay. I'm good. You know. But on the same token, I also don't want to like downplay his experience or yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, as someone who had a rougher, not like a life-threatening experience, I wasn't hospitalized or anything. But like, I don't feel bad about what you went through. Like, I don't feel like you're downtrodden me. You're just stating the fact that, oh, I didn't have as bad an experience. That's all.
Well, yeah, and we're good, Alfie. We're good. On the same token, people are downplaying it because they're jerks,
Mm-hmm.
and so I definitely don't want to do that. But on the same token, I want to say, hey guys, I'm cool. And Jake, we're fine. How are you doing, Alfie?
Yeah, how are you this evening?
Alfie just came back from school, I would assume. Yeah. Alfie's the only one that we're actually on time with, if you think about it. Like, with Alfie, we're on every school day after school. It's perfect. Perfectly timed.
Gotta love that.
You know what? We're going to be here for another 30 minutes. We'll body double with you, and you can do your homework, and we'll do our work. That's what we're here for. That's our job. You can do your work, and we'll do ours.
Okay.
So, that's the tire.
So this week I'm going to do my big push to finish off issue 1.
Oh, nice.
And submit it to Antarctic Press and see what happens.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah. Kick butt.
I mean, what's the worst they can say? No?
Yep. That's it.
Yep, that's kind of how I felt.
What's going on outside? Great. I don't know where George is. I think George would be into this plan.
Hey, guy, you'll appreciate this.
Well, I mean, like George would be like, "What's going on outside?"
Mm-hmm. My friend just sent me this, and it's a meme. I'm gonna write this in the wrong order, so forgive me. I'm gonna do my best. Let's see.
Alfie, what's your history test on?
I think Alfie's heading out real quick. I don't know what grade Alfie's in, so I'm unsure.
My friend sent me these two kanji, and it just says they're the same picture.
Right?
It's like
Yes.
Yep.
It's the meme with them saying it's the same picture. Yes.
Yeah. Hiro, Suteru. why would you make them so similar but completely opposite meanings?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I still mix these up all the time. Like, the only way that I remember it is the Suteru has dolt in it. That's and it like means earth. So if it has earth in it, you're putting it down. You're dumping it, and you're putting it down. That's the only
Yes.
way that I remember it.
That's a good way to. That's kind of the way I usually do it. Is I'll check some radical and say, "Oh, okay, at least I know this radical."
Yeah, that's the only way that I remember.
It's like the right and the left one.
Yeah, and you go to it looks like a palm, like it's just a hand, like it's just like a vertical hand, and Suteru is like earth, so it's like putting it down.
Right.
If it's open, you're picking it up. If it's earth, you're putting it down. That's all I got. That's all I got, fam. That's what I told her, and she's like, "Oh my god, that makes so much sense."
I know. My friends do that too. I'll be like, "Well, I'm gonna have to." The way I remember it is this way. This is, and some of them don't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, some of them do, but like rest is a person leaning up against a tree. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's logical. What was the other one? I saw one the other day that was like, it had woman in it, and I was like, I don't know why woman's involved in here, but I remember it because of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We were I was having a lot of trouble with my intonation, and we were using the word ginkgo. Ginkgo. Yeah. See, I have trouble giving n its own syllable.
Yep.
Ginkgo. So like she's like, make sure you say it slowly and practice your proper, and also like the intonation of like going up and down. She's like, you're saying the wrong words, like ginkgo. I guess you mean something else depending on like what syllable you give the rise to or the fall. And she's like, you're not doing the correct like intonation, and I'm like, so I'm not giving n its own syllable and I have the wrong intonation.
Right. Well, I get that problem all the time with hashi and hashi.
Yeah, same. I'm struggling with that one too.
That one trips up a lot of people.
Yeah, we'll see. And also, I'm reading in kanji. Like, my kanji level is like the first level. So there's a lot of words that I don't know yet. Like I saw the word for ginkgo, and I'm like, okay, earth and silver, what? And I'm like, what is this? And then
Right?
she showed us
Place where you put the silver into the earth, you bank it.
Yeah. And then the other word was Yubin Kyupo. And I'm like,
yeah. That one's hard because you use it so much for so many things.
yeah.
Everything's at the post office. Everything.
Yep.
And so like so much of their culture is around the Yubin Kyoku that it's like that one becomes so hard.
Yeah, I just saw the 4 kanji and I went, ugh.
In time.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What is this monstrosity of a word? And for some reason, like I can't, I can, once I remember the word, I remember what it means, but I can't remember looking at the kanji, and I'm like, I never remember that word.
I remember having to go to the post office to open up a bank account, and that was so
I've heard about that.
I was in a post office. I'm not sure exactly why, but B, I'm standing there and they're like telling me, they're talking to me about all these things, here are all your rights, privileges, and I'm like, I am getting about a third of these words, and this sounds really like something I shouldn't be only getting a third of the words of. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I should be fully understanding this conversation and I'm
Right.
not, and I feel deeply uncomfortable.
Right? It's like, we're talking about a bank account here, and I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Like, can I get somebody that like can explain this to me, please?
Right? It was pretty alarming, but we were off script. There were a lot of things that when you got over there, your company did for you. But if you ran off script, then you were on your own. So in the case of this, they gave us a bank card which worked in certain ATMs, but the bank card pretty much only worked if you went to Ginza, because all the banks were in Ginza. And so you'd have to go into town, go to Ginza, and then withdraw like $1 gajillion, and then go all the way back out. You know, you couldn't use it in everyday things. So you just, and you know, this is Japan, so this is actually somewhat normal. I just had a box full of $100 bills. You know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, they're still heavy, right?
Yeah, they're still very cash heavy. So it was relatively understandable, but still kind of, it bothered me that I couldn't run out of money without it becoming a problem. You know what I mean? Like, if I ran out of money, I'd have to borrow money to get into Ginza to try to get more money, you know? So Mariah and I decided we were going to open our own bank accounts. So we went in to the post office and opened our own bank account in the post office, which would allow us to go down the street to get more money. You know? But we were off script, so they didn't send the ICs. So they wouldn't send the translators, so we had to do it by ourselves in Japanese. It was the same thing when she went off script, because they put us in these Leo palaces, which I liked my Leo palace just fine. My Leo palace was pretty kick butt. But her Leo palace was right next to a train gate. So from 5 in the morning until 2 in the morning, every 15 minutes was going bing, 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 and driving her absolutely crazy. So she went and got an apartment that was in town, and same thing. She went off script, so she had to do it all by herself in Japanese. But the thing is, I felt a lot more like we were part of the culture by doing that.
Yeah, you get more. You do get more experience doing that.
Yeah, like if you think about it from the point of view of like, you know, like my sister talked about this. She's been all over the world, and she said this too at one point in time. She was like, "Well, I've been all over the world, but I've been all over the world with the U.S. Army. You were in Japanese culture. You lived inside. You had to go to. You had to, if you had to call a plumber, you had to call a Japanese plumber. And you know what I mean? Like, she was like, there's a difference. When I've been on base, sure, I'm in like, you know, Sarajevo, but I'm in an American base. I call an American plumber, you know, who comes over, and you know, he's probably from Chicago. You know, like, there's nothing weird about this. You know, you call a Japanese plumber who lives in, probably went to school in your school, and you know, 40 years ago or whatever. You know, it's like you're in the culture. And she's like, that was a completely different feel. And I was like, yeah, you're right. It was cool. I'm not gonna lie, she had a good point. Should have done this first, and then I didn't, and now I'm regretting my life choices.
Story of my life.
Other doors. I don't need to see these guys right now. Anyway, long story short, I think that everybody should do that.
I'd love to do
live
that.
in another country for a little while and experience it and really enjoy it. I think it's
I would love to, yeah. Like, I want to save up and see if I can, like, do, like, a digital nomad thing for, like, 90 days
yeah.
in Japan. And just go. Go do it. Like I probably would get, like, an Airbnb or something safe or a hotel or hostel or something. I probably would go to an Airbnb just because I have to have privacy since I do NDA, like, heavy work. Um, so I would need something more private. Um, or maybe, like, because a hotel might be too expensive for 90 days. So, but also it might cause conflict with, like, timing with my, like, meetings and stuff. Um, so I'm not sure if my company would let me do that.
yeah.
But I'm gonna present a reason why they should let me, like, do it. Like, hey, if you let me go, I'll do this. That way I'm not going just for me. Like, it'll be to the company's benefit that I get to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, so hopefully, if I can do that, it'll be more likely to be approved. And because I just, like you, would be going off script, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
I can't just, like, walk in and be like, oh, everything's gonna be hunky dory. Especially if I want to stay for that long. Like, you gotta be sure yes, where are you gonna stay? Do you have a living arrangement? Because I know they're gonna ask they're gonna ask at customs, what's your plan? When are you leaving?
Your visa's active for different times. They won't ask.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I was just say, because I thought it would be like,
it'll tell.
well, I didn't plan on having a visa. I planned on just using my passport.
If you're doing that, then your visa's 90 days.
Okay.
So that's it. If you're on a tourist pass or tourist visa, it's 90
Mm-hmm. Do you need a tourist passport or visa? Like, is just a passport enough?
No,
Oh,
Japan's not one of those countries.
we can barely hear you, guys.
That's because I
sorry, you
walked
were
into the
like,
other side of my
sorry.
office to grab some peanuts. Japan's not one of those countries.
You're good. Take your time. I have to have a tourist visa.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. That's so dumb. You also can't get a working holiday visa either. Just stupid. I know why they do it, but that's stupid. It's annoying. Like, all the countries I want to go visit, I can't do a working holiday visa.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is the LDP has been in charge for a very long time, and they have done this for a very long time, and that's the problem with it.
Well, and there's reasons those things are in place. There's reasons why those things are in place.
Yeah.
Because too many people have taken advantage of it, probably.
Well, maybe they've got a real problem with blaming everything on foreigners.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Like, that's a real thing.
Yeah, and so the LDP makes it hard for foreigners to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because that way they don't have to worry about having foreigners.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, stupid laws, really stupid laws. They've got a law specifically that says that you cannot re-up your passport at the embassy in Japan. So if your passport expires, you have to fly to frickin' Korea, to the Korean embassy, the U.S. embassy in Korea. So you have to fly to Seoul.
Oh. Wow.
Because the idea is you'll go home.
Oh, so they're hoping that you'll just choose to go home
Yeah,
instead.
it's too much of a pain in the butt. You'll go home. That's what they're hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we had, every so often we'd have somebody come over and something was wrong with their visa. And that was, you know, just a normal thing. Not like they did anything, you know, it wasn't like they were trying to be wrong or anything. It was just, oops, we screwed this one thing up or whatever. And they'd have to freaking fly to Seoul, get it fixed, and then come back. Because Japan wouldn't let them fix it there.
Mm-hmm. Guy, you're a good person to ask for this. What is the sound effect? I know when you pull the arrow back, it's creep. What is the sound effect when you let it go? Or like, you know, like the twang of like the string afterwards? What is that sound effect? I cannot find it anywhere. Do they show those sound effects in manga in Japanese? Like, is that a thing?
Tsurune. Tsurune.
Tsurune. Tsurune. Okay.
Tsurune. Tsurune.
Like
That is the
S-U-R-U-N-E?
perfect release of a bow.
Oh, Sue. Like S-U. Okay.
TSU.
Oh, Sue.
Tsu.
Okay.
Tsurune.
So, all right, just be sure to. Well, I can't. Of course, I don't have the right sound.
I would almost say cha would be what might be
Cha.
a good one too. Yeah, cha.
Like that?
But tsurune is that perfect twang
Mm-hmm.
when you release the arrow.
Mm-hmm. And the other one would be.
It also might be a little too fancy if he's just
Okay, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Tsurune is, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's actually an anime called
Mhm.
Tsurune.
I want to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about Kyudo.
Would I be? Yeah. Would people still get cha? Would they still get that one? Okay.
Because it'd be cha, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the bow, when the arrow is released, there's that twang, but it's not a twang.
Mhm.
It's more like a right? It's a
Yeah. This is like afterwards. Like the arrows already had its impact. So this would be like the reverberation afterwards.
Oh.
Do you think it would have a sound? I don't think it would. Now that I think about it, I don't think it would have a
It
sound.
wouldn't have a sound, but you'd want to give that effect of.
Yeah.
I'd almost put Shaw anyway, right? SHAAAAA. Almost like wind blowing through there, right? Like, because he's just standing there, right? He's already standing there. Ooh,
Yeah.
do I get to grade your poise too?
Huh?
Do I get to grade your arrow poise?
You can draw it. She uses all.
Is he supposed to be doing Kyudo?
No, but I'm basing it largely off of like my own experience, which basic T pose. Arms a little high, but.
Hang on. Well, I'm asking pointed questions here. Hang on.
You're good.
I'm gathering information. Is he supposed to be Japanese archery?
No.
Okay. Is he supposed to be Mongolian archery?
No, I'm aiming for like traditional Indonesian archery. They tend to not pull it back to the face.
Right. Well, the Mongolian, and the Mongolian grip is level like this.
Oh.
The bowstring goes like through here. You grab it with your thumb and then you lock it with your fingers.
Oh.
So that's a Mongolian grip, and we pull back to here.
And
then release.
I didn't realize that. Maybe they're very similar.
Yeah, I mean the Mongolian grip is actually what we use in Kyudo.
Let me look it up and see
Hey guys, I want to drop out early. I'm actually falling asleep over here.
Okay.
Okay, take it easy.
We're only 7 minutes out from the end of the show anyway, but yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah.
I
I'll
will
talk to
likely
you
not
guys
be here
tomorrow.
in the morning. I just wanted you to know that. I'll try, but I don't know whether I will or not, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Welcome back, Alfie. I don't think either one of these is a thing. I just happen to be a bow aficionado.
No, that's I never really thought about it. I mostly would take like photo references of myself just so that I can see how I was holding it. And that's what I did. Like I didn't even really think about which form she was using.
Yeah. The
That's really interesting. I should think about that.
Western pull is 3 fingers or 2 fingers to the bowstring, and then pull back, and then release. The Mongolian pull is the thumb locked, and then pulled back.
Yeah, then it would be the Mongolian one. Yeah, that's the one I was taught.
Yeah, because the Mongolian, he should have his hand flat, and then these 2 fingers will lock over the thumb.
Okay, so in that bottom thing, yeah, in the bottom panel, I need to rotate the hand of it.
Yep. In Kyudo, we hold another arrow with these fingers, so we can pull back and then fire, and then just knock another one in, and we're ready.
Yeah,
so we don't have to move. Yeah, so you've got what looks like almost Mongolian draw. If you're doing a Mongolian draw, then that last part, oddly, I would recommend that the bow be on this side of his arm. When we fire and release, we move just a little bit out of the way like this. Whack, because there's no lip for the arrow to sit. On a Western bow, there's a lip where the arrow sits. And so when you fire, the arrow is sort of held so that the fletching won't hit the bow or hit the bow as it goes through. On the Eastern bows, there's no lip. So what we do is we'll move the bow out of the way as it fires so that the arrow can move and the fletching will clear the bow. In doing so, if you fire correctly, the bowstring then will travel around and hit you on the other side of the wrist. And it just comes to a stop there. It doesn't smack you or anything. It just goes shunk and then stops here. So firing,
so the bowstring should be on the other side.
Yeah, he'll be moving that bow out of the way to clear so that the fletching won't take the bow, or the bow won't hit the fletching and cause your arrow to go offline.
That'd be super easy to fix. I can, so then I have to rotate the bow then. Okay.
Right, all you need to do is just put the bowstring on the other side of his wrist.
Super easy to do.
Welcome back, Alfie.
Thank you for that. Because I always use a Western bow. Like I never had that experience of not having a rest for it. So thank you for that.
I feel like you've got a very Eastern feel to your culture. I know it's not Japanese, but
yeah, it's got a lot of different cultures. So there really like isn't one that I can be like, oh, it's from X culture, and that's kind of becoming a slight detriment to me now. So let me just erase this here so that it's on the other side of them.
And I don't know where I don't see his other hand, his firing hand.
It's just really badly drawn. It's just really messy. It's right here. It's just really sketchy.
So he hasn't released.
They pull another one.
Okay, so yeah, there we go. So he's still in draw when he says Elder Mino.
No, he's fired.
One.
he just fired one. He's kind of just holding it there, sort of like a moth moment, where it's just kind of like a pause, waiting for the next action.
Right.
Yeah, and then like they're gonna be pulling another one here. I just haven't drawn the arrows yet. And then here they pull it. They pull the next arrow and then they drop back in this one. And their hand was right here. And I was gonna look up like a proper reference for exactly how it sits, like on the hand. That's why it's so loosely drawn in, because I didn't have like a perfect reference for it.
Yeah. Here. Not as good as I would like to say, but
Here's the.
let's see if I can get the other side of. So this is actually a buddy of mine. This is the Wikipedia article. There are so few Kudoka in the world that interface with the world that literally when you go to the Wikipedia article on Kudo, like half the pictures are mine. That one's mine.
Really?
That one's mine. That one's mine. That one's mine.
I didn't realize that. Wow.
Yeah, I took these pictures while we were
That last photo one might be really helpful. Like the one that was the middle one. That one, yeah.
So some Kudoka will point. I don't point.
She does, or my character does, yeah.
There's no cliff. There's no little cliff for the arrow to sit on. So we put it on we put the arrow on the knock of our thumb. And then it sits in this little V right here. It's called the Tora Noguchi, the mouth of the tiger.
How are the fletch? How do you hold the fletches? Like, or is it a 2 fletch? Is it a 3? Like, how are the arrows fletched? How are the fletches done on the arrows for these?
So there's three. There are three feathers on there, and they're cut from the same. They're cut from the same feathers, but they're split. So one half of the feather goes on one arrow, and the other half goes on the other arrow. That way, we have what we call the otoya and the haya, and that means one of them's turned. The curves of the feather turn one direction, which causes the bow to helical. So because the feathers are turned like this, it causes the arrow to spin when it's fired.
Interesting.
And
I didn't see that on the Indonesian arrows.
Right. This is the glove we wear, and we wear a glove because otherwise the bow will cut through your thumb.
Ooh, yeah.
So we wear a glove, and you can see the glove there, and we knock the arrow in, and then we put our thumb across the bowstring through here. And then we put these two fingers go right over the knock, or over the lock of our thumb. Right? It's kind of hard to see from her point of view. But you can kind of see it here. He's got it pulled back like this. And so you end up with sort of it tilted at about a 45-degree angle. He's not holding another arrow, but since they made us practice holding arrows all the time. So usually we can carry 2, and we carry them like this.
Oh, I see.
So we just lock them in. So when we're at full draw, we're pulled back, and we've got another arrow coming down like that.
And your elbows are up, like.
Yep. We're at a.
So that way the arrows are in your way. Okay.
And we bring the arrow down lined up level the entire way until it's locked into position, completely level. See how?
Oh wow, yeah.
You can almost put a level right on top of that arrow in the bubble.
Amazing.
Right.
Yeah, her bow isn't. She's got just a standard long, but that's about as solid. That's about as solid as she is. So. Yeah. that's what I did. Is I always had a longbow. I never used anything. I never used, obviously I never used a Q loop bow. Been a dream of mine to try it though.
I mean, you can also see that the die Q is also a little bit different.
Yeah, it is.
It's asymmetrical so that you can ride on horses.
That makes sense.
Right. And Yabusame is a different critter altogether. That's kind of a different. It's a different kind of.
Isn't that what they do have like Yabusame during like Golden Week and stuff?
I'm sorry?
Don't they have Yabusame like tournaments and stuff during Golden Week?
Yep.
Yep.
Usually at the Meiji Shrine. That's where a lot of these pictures were taken.
Yeah.
It's because I was like, hey, I'm not qualified and ranked up enough to actually compete. So
that's so cool.
I'm gonna take my camera.
That's so crazy that you were the one that took these photos. I've looked through this so many times and I had no idea these were yours.
Yep, that's mine. That's mine.
That's small world. That's wild.
I think this guy's in charge of our dojo now. My sensei passed away, and I had a feeling he was second in charge, or who was going to take over the dojo. The guy whose hands are here. He's a nice guy. So
very cool. Yeah, that would be like a dream of mine to get to try Kyudo. I'd love to do it someday.
Yep.
I'm probably really out of practice in archery in general, though. So
doesn't matter. as Sensei had said to me, the goal is not to hit the target.
Yeah, the goal is to find your center and
be correct. Have the correct.
That's what my teacher said. He's like, it's always about finding your center and like having like a meditative experience. Enjoy doing archery, not stress about getting it perfect. Yeah.
There was one time when I was practicing and we were at the dojo and it was nighttime. And so the dojo lights were on, but the field was, there were no lights in the field. And there were only little dim lights that were out at the actual berm where the targets sat. And I was in position 1, and behind me was the guy with the glove that I was saying he's second in charge. And I was in position 1, and I stood up, I drew, I pulled down to full draw, and I fired, and I heard the sound of flap, the sound that it hit the actual target. And everybody in the dojo went silent because I wasn't yet Shodan. And so it was like, whoa, you hit the target? You're not even Shodan? Sort of thing. And I paused, and behind me I hear this little voice go, Gai-san, I think you hit my target.
It's the wrong target.
And I started laughing, and then Sensei came over and goes, "It's okay. You're challenging black belt. Nobody expects you to hit the target. Don't worry about it."
That's so funny.
And I thought about that, and I was like, that there explains everything you need to know about Kyudo. It's not about hitting the target.
That's so funny.
But I just I think you hit my target.
Yeah, my teacher never made it about hitting the target either. He was like, you're here to chill and have fun and enjoy yourself. If you hit the target, great, but you should come here to relax.
Yeah. Alfie, there's no right or wrong about sports or anything. Don't worry.
Yeah. Everyone does different sports. Like the reason why I did archery is because I have what's called a Curie 1. What that means is part of my brain, the cerebellum, that's like at the bottom of the base of your skull where your spinal cord goes through your skull. Part of my brain sits in that little opening. And so if I do really active sports like soccer or basketball, when you're exercising, your blood vessels swell to accommodate your exercise. And what happens in people like me is I can pass out because I'm not getting enough oxygen to my brain. And so for people like me, it can be really dangerous to do active sports that are, really intense sports. And so something like archery is safer because I'm not exerting myself as hard, but I can still enjoy doing a sport and work out and be strong and just, yeah. So it's not necessarily like about being cool or not. It's just that sport for me, and I was able to enjoy it. But yeah, like you shouldn't feel like, oh, my sport's boring because it's not as fancy. Like there are other sports that have things that make them different and special from other sports.
Yep. The thing
So,
is, the thing is, Alfie, we've had time to travel the world a little. I highly recommend that you travel the world a little. You know what I mean? Go about, walk about. It's a good thing to do. It's good for you, and it's good for uh, an American writer named Mark Twain once said that traveling is the most destructive thing to prejudice. So,
yeah, you actually get to experience other people and other cultures and
once you
challenge all the
travel the
beliefs that
world,
you have.
people are people. Doesn't matter where we're from. It's one of the reasons why you're welcome here all the time, and it doesn't matter. I don't care where you're from, because I've learned that everybody is just people. We're all just people. Doesn't matter what country you're from, or how old you are, or what sports you're in. We're all just people. And that's the important lesson to learn in life, is that we all are good people. There are some bad people, but most of us are good people.
Miso, how are you?
Rock climbing is awesome, dude.
Yeah, rock climb, dude. I could not rock climb. I could not. I could never.
My biggest
I
problem
am too
is
weak for that.
I am super afraid of heights. I get vertigo. So if I were to try to rock climb, Alfie, I would get dizzy and then fall off the rock, because that makes sense totally. Like, why would you fall off of things?
I have no finger strength. I know that's something I could work on, but yeah, like if I fall and I hurt myself, my brain would swell and it would hurt me a lot more than other people.
Right?
So like even whiplash can be really, really, really dangerous for me, like in a car accident. So I have to be really careful with myself. So rock climbing is probably too dangerous for me.
Yep. We've got some good rocks to climb here.
Yeah,
I'm from the state of Colorado, and we've got some really good rocks to climb.
really pretty rocks.
Mm-hmm. We're at the end of the show, but I'm going to roll for just a little while longer till you are done with your part.
I'm just about done here.
Yeah.
At least with this panel.
Might as well do the last little bit of fixes on here.
Yeah, I just gotta add some line art and then fix the add the railings that the platforms are standing on. It looks like it's just floating. It looks really weird. I just need to throw on a mask and it'll be good to go.
Pivot drum here. I am also going to sleep in tomorrow.
You should.
Shouldn't really do that, but since I am technically on day 4 of COVID, I probably ought to take as good a care of myself as I can.
Good idea.
Sounds like a battle plan that involves, not doing something stupid.
Sounds like you actually resting.
Yeah, I should be resting. But I slept most of the day today, so I'm like, well, I really wish it wouldn't make this look like it's a marshmallow. It makes this look like a marshmallow. I know I can fix this later, but man, it bothers me now. Why are you such a marshmallow? Rock climbing is pretty kick butt.
Yeah, that is really cool. 8 or 9 years? Wow.
Alfie's been doing it for a while. The old hand. If I were smart, I wouldn't have built it this way in the first place. Alrighty, I think I'm going to have to rebuild this entire piece.
No.
Yeah, I've been looking at it and looking at it and looking at it, and the more I look at it, the more I'm like, it's just... So
Yeah, the more
here's the problem.
frustrated you get.
Yeah, the problem that I've got here is this. At some point, relatively soon, Brent wants to print these things out as actual physical models.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to think of the actual engineering, whereas before I could just have some piece go inside some other piece.
Mm-hmm.
See you later, Alfie. We're leaving, so we'll see you later on tomorrow night. Or tomorrow
Thank-
after you're from school.
Take it easy, okay?
So, but I think now that I've had that, before it was okay if two pieces collided because it didn't really matter. But now I'm looking at it through the eyes of, and then how does this work if
Mm-hmm.
you were actually to make a real model of it?
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm thinking what really needs to happen is I really need to make this a pivot piece that allows for rotate, because it's got to be 6 degrees of rotation for this. These are
Mhm.
legs. So the legs need to be able to twist, bend, and pivot. So I'm going to have to build a linkage here, which will look cool anyway, and I should really just do it and stop talking about it. Instead of talking about it, I'm going to just build it.
Mm-hmm. Part I always struggle with making sure characters are visible. Because if I turn off the white, you can barely see her. So if I turn this on, it looks really weird, just having this strange white spot on here.
Right.
So I didn't think about this part really well. Maybe if I use like actual hatching or maybe a soot, it won't look as strange. That way it's not vertical lines and vertical lines. That might help. Did you?
Thank you.
Yep, that was me for a long time.
Yeah, I was like suffering for that for a while there. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, that was definitely not. That was probably my least favorite part about COVID was all the sneezing and coughing for weeks.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I'm not looking. Whoa, stop that. I'm not looking forward to. Okay, what did you do? I don't want you to bevel it. are you giving me this thingy for beveling? I don't want to bevel. Stop. God. You have now activated the bevel. Can I turn off? No. No. Delete. Vertices. Now, can I have it? No. You're just gonna make me bevel no matter what. Can I just have select box? There we go. Okay. Sorry, I'm having arguments
No, you're
apparently with Blender, and that shouldn't have happened. It did. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to any surprises. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what. I've never had COVID, so I don't know what's waiting around the corner. And I don't know whether this is just gonna be one of those nothing happened. You know.
For me, the worst part was like the lymph node swelling, like after COVID. Like that lasted for about 3 months, and it was pretty extreme. So my face looked really weird. And the other part was being like physically weak for like 2 months afterwards. Like
Wow.
just walking down the stairs and walking about not quite a football field's distance to my car, I was exhausted. I was out of breath. Going downstairs, downhill, and about a football field's length to my car.
Wow.
And I would go hiking in the mountains, okay? So like I was a pretty fit. Yes, I am overweight, but I could still do those things. And you know, like I'm in Tennessee, like it's not super elevated here, so there's no reason I should have been out of breath. And like I used to be able to like I didn't even think about walking to my car. Like it was nothing. And all of a sudden like I couldn't walk to my car. I couldn't walk around Walmart without having to go to like the shoe station and sit down.
Right.
Like the shoe department and sit down because I was out of breath. And I was like, the fuck? What is this? Like, so I just eventually got better and I got a little bit stronger every day and it was fun. But that it took me about 2 months just to like get back up to normal.
Yeah, I mean, like I so far, I mean, I that's what I'm worried about. It's like what's going on that I don't see.
Yeah.
You know, COVID seems to have a lot of that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the, what we didn't tell you about was, you know, and 4 years later, you're suffering from some other side effect that was from COVID. And you're like, whoa, wait, how did this happen? Which is why it's so aggravating that their people are like, well, we're all just going to end up getting COVID. I'm like, really? That's your attitude?
Yeah, my stepmom has had it twice now.
Damage you pretty badly.
Yeah, everyone should be taking it more seriously, but
yeah, I mean, I feel like even with mild cases, it still like messes with you.
100%. Yep. And people are just sort of like, oh, well, it didn't kill me, so who cares?
Yeah, it's just like
they go, well, it didn't kill me, so like I don't need to worry about it as much. Other people around you will catch it after you might.
Yeah.
All right, you about ready to call it a night, guy?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm just messing around with stuff now. I'm just screwing around with things. Like,
once they dump the station on.
Okay, well, if you're out, I'm out. I will see you tomorrow. And like I said, I will either be late to stream tomorrow, probably late to stream tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going. I have to get this page done before I go to bed tonight. So I'll be still drawing, but I'll do.
Right. So if you don't see me at 9, though, you'll know.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. And I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, guys. Bye.